Hi, everybody. Welcome to the Dr. Ardis Show. I'm your host, Dr. Brian Ardis, and I am so thrilled and honored to have as a guest today on this show, Dr. Jana Schmidt, that I'm hoping most of my audiences know. But wherever in the world this interview goes, and whoever it is you share it with, there are people around the world that may not know who she is. They actually probably don't know who I am. So keep sharing our information, sharing our actual videos and our presentations, because what we're educating people on, Dr. Jana Schmidt and I both, every single day, either in practice, in studio, on stages, it doesn't matter. We know things that most people have been intentionally not made aware of in their life, which is there are natural things found in nature that don't require a prescription. Healing occurs without prescriptions, and you don't know that. So we are going to educate you on how we've kept our own children healthy all the time when we're talking, how it is we've kept ourselves free of using drugs, vaccines, antibiotics, and our children. But then, really, truly, Dr. Jana is going to educate you on a little bit. There are times, like I tell you, about the only great things in modern day medicine is the life-saving trauma services of ERs, urgent care centers. So if it ain't life-threatening, you don't need to go to a hospital or to an ER center or a medical professional. In our opinion, there's almost nothing you can't answer or have an antidote for when it comes to nature. Today's episode, we're going to be talking and interviewing who I consider, we call her actually the queen bee, as a part of our fabulous four, as people reference, the four docs of the Healing for the Ages group. So if she's an expert in all things bees. Now, the reason why I'm inviting her to be a part of this conversation is because we have a product we introduced over a year ago that would be a simple solution for a lot of people, young and old, that could simply spray in their mouth or spritz in their mouth something from bees called propolis. So these things are all natural flavored. You just spritz it in your mouth a few times a day, a couple times a day. The benefits of propolis, something that bees manufacture in beehives, has such miraculous health benefits and have been known for millennia, and I mean millennia, thousands and thousands of years, way before ever aspirin was discovered, way before ever Pepto-Bismol was invented, way before all of it was bee pollen and bee propolis. So we've got Dr. Jana Schmidt here. I hope you enjoy this show. It's going to be exciting because we want you to know as many truths as possible that are natural solutions you can get without a doctor's appointment or a prescription ever. So let's welcome on the incredible Mother Earth, as we like to reference her, Queen Bee. This is Dr. Jana Schmidt. Welcome to the show, young lady. How are you today? Hanging out in
Dr.
Florida?
Oh, it's always a pleasure to speak with you, and especially about something I love so deeply. Please forgive the noise in the background. You'll hear hurricane boards going up all around because we are preparing for this orchestrated hurricane. It's orchestrated.
What's the name of this one so that people watch this later? It'll be like, oh,
Milton. It's Milton. Yeah.
Milton. 2024 is when we're talking. This is October 2024. There's a hurricane coming. Do you know roughly what time frame that might make landfall near you?
Yes. Supposedly it's Monday, and it's supposed to make landfall Wednesday to Thursday. I'm going to go on a little bit of a rabbit trail. Never in the history of tracking, like full on official tracking hurricanes, this has been going on for decades, ever has a hurricane started where this one started and moved east. Never. And the reason why is the wind currents and the water currents don't allow that to happen. So this is a completely artificial looking hurricane. It's not supposed to go in the direction it's going and start where it's starting. Everyone here in Florida, like we're veterans. We know hurricanes, and this one is bizarre. So we're all sort of bracing for whatever's they're throwing at us at the moment. So that's why you hear all the noise in the background, because everyone's getting their generators going and potentially getting ready to evacuate if we have to. And we're obviously on the water, so the waters rise, and so
And you see we can watch all the limbs blowing in the palm trees there. You can see it all. So we know what's coming. This is live.
We do know what's coming. Yeah.
So I just want y'all to know, Dr. Jana, I know you got family members outside right now, kids included, who are boarding up windows, boarding up the house. Thank you for taking a few minutes to film this. I actually, before we started recording, I was like, Jana, do you need to go? She's like, oh my God, I've been doing this for 24 hours now, boarding up the house and preparing the house. So I'm good. I need a break.
I never say no to you. Anyway, so we're also taking care of our bees, because this is one of our most valuable resources we have. We need to make sure they're secure and that they're out of wind shear, and also flooding, because that can damage them as well. So making sure they have things on top of them so they don't blow away.
So can you tell me how it is you protect your bees?
You can actually take straps and root them to the ground, stake them in, and that way they don't get knocked over, and then make sure they're elevated enough with some cinder blocks. So if the waters rise really high, that they're not going to be, injured by it. So that's one of the ways we do it. Plus they're in areas that are safe anyway, wind, rain. So,
Very
but we
good.
love our bees, constant source of nutrients for us and healing, not just having them in our yard to pollinate all these amazing plants we have, but also to provide honey and bee pollen and propolis, as you said. And these are all bee products. I don't do royal jelly. This is one of the products that you may hear, royal jelly. It's fascinating. It's wonderful. It helps boost, it helps boost, your immune system, but I don't do royal jelly because I don't like the way that it's harvested. I feel like it's a little barbaric. They
I
trick
totally
the
get it.
hive into thinking they need a new queen. They put royal jelly. They end up scooping it out. They kill the bees in doing so. It's not healthy for the hive. So unless it just happens naturally, where there's a brood that happens to have a lot that didn't make it, then we'll use that royal jelly. But otherwise, we don't harvest that. So for people who don't know, that's royal jelly. And then obviously most people know honey. This is what the bees make from the pollen and the nectar and the water and everything that they gather. And it's food for the bees. But how they start making it is by gathering pollen first. So pollen and nectar, sap, and they do many things with all of these. The bee pollen, they put their enzyme in it. It's called glucose oxidase, and it's the most powerful enzyme in helping the body rid the body of pathogens. It literally dissolves the lipid wall around pathogens, so your body can just attack it. It's pretty cool.
That's
So
awesome.
they put their special enzyme in the bee pollen, bring it back to the hive, and this is where we come in to get the bee pollen. As they come into the hive, it's through a drawer, and just a little falls off as they take it into the hive. So most of it goes to them, 75%, 25% for us. And it takes a while. They work really hard and we get that full pollen drawer. And that's our pollen. Never even touches human hands, put it right into the bag, seal it. So, and it's a live food. It has enzymes. It has like 96 different nutrients, is considered a raw, perfect live food. To me, it's God's perfect multivitamin because it has all the nutrients known for human nutrition, more protein per ounce than anything else you can eat. The rutin alone for your artery walls is phenomenal. It helps open up the artery walls, helps normalize blood pressure. For skin health, wound health, whatever, but it has amazing properties to renew your skin. So this is bee pollen, and it from that bee pollen and the nectars and the sap, they make
Oh,
propolis.
wait, wait, wait. I don't want to go there yet. Hold on. I
Okay, you
want to
don't want to go
ask.
to propolis yet? Okay, let's go
Wait, wait,
to
no, no, no,
pollen.
no. We're gonna stay on bee pollen for a second because
Okay.
I
Okay.
was gonna ask about the honey, and I will just ask questions as you go because I'm learning and the audience will be learning. So
Okay.
the bees make honey. You all know what honey is. All right. So I have a question for you about honey first.
Okay.
So human beings have been eating honey for as long as we probably have written record. So do bees just naturally produce more food than they need?
Yes, they do. They store it. They're
Okay.
preppers.
They store the honey. Okay, great. All right. Now, outside of the food source of honey that also we eat as a food source because they make extra, when they are bringing bee pollen into the hive, that they add their enzymes like glucose oxidase, that's actually abbreviated in science journals as the God molecule, GOD, God molecule, glucose oxidase. Bees put that in their bee pollen and then they come into the hive. You guys collect that bee pollen out of a drawer at the bottom of the hive. Why do bees collect bee pollen and bring it into the hive? If
It's
honey's the food source, what do they do with bee pollen?
Well, they make the honey from the pollen.
Oh, there you go. I'm just asking. I'm
Yeah,
wanting to be
they use
educated.
they
So
use pollen, they use water, they use nectar. So it's the start of all the products that they make, whether it's royal jelly, propolis, honey. It's the pollen is the raw ingredient for all of it. It's just how they use it. Does that
got
make
it.
sense?
So they're taking all the little bee pollen and the enzymes in their bee pollen and they're manufacturing honey from it, just like we would a cake recipe. You've got a whole bunch of little ingredients in bags and boxes, and you got to add them all together. That's what they're doing with the bee pollen to make honey.
Exactly.
Very good.
Yes, got it.
And
You got it.
y'all take generally 25% of the bee pollen. They keep 75% for themselves, and that keeps the hive healthy. Awesome. All right, so let's go to the next part. You're going to mention nectar. Go ahead, keep going.
Okay. Well, I can hang out on bee pollen. I can hang out on bee pollen all day, honestly.
I know.
It's a really it's honey and bee pollen purpose. Is it too noisy? Should I move to a different location?
Oh,
Can
I
you
hear
hear
you
all the
perfectly.
hammering?
No, I
Okay.
hear you perfectly.
Okay. If it's too loud, you just let me know and I'll tuck away
I
to it.
actually have not heard anything yet, so you're good, except for
Oh,
you. All I hear is you.
okay, perfect. Perfect. And my microphone's working. So all of these bee products have antibacterial, antifungal agents in them. So this is in everything to a certain degree. Some are more than others. So that's we hear about these types of things with honey and propolis. You can put honey on a wound. People may have heard that, if you don't have other things, although even if I did have other things, I'd use honey. So,
Awesome.
and I mentioned the strengthening the capillaries of the body through rutin, but it also has a way, because of all the nutrients, it has a way to help protect our DNA. I think that's amazing. And for centuries, this has been known. If you look back in archaeological Egypt, you see written on their walls different how they're using honey, how they use bees and how they connect with bees, and there's even pictures of them like pouring honey. So it's pretty cool, and we know that it stays fresh for thousands of years because they literally found bee pollen granules in glass and clay jars in pharaoh's tombs,
That's awesome.
and it's still active. It's pretty amazing. So when someone says, what's the shelf life of bee pollen, like, well, depends. I mean, it's can probably outlive you.
Millennia, thousands
Yeah,
of years. Put
it
that
can.
date on your products there, Dr.
Yeah,
Jana.
thousands of years.
This expires in 10,000 years.
Oh my goodness. Yes. And if you don't expose it to too much heat, now remember the hive has heat, but the bees can cool the hive down with their wings. So they keep it pretty good, even in hot temperatures.
That's
But if you
awesome.
don't put it near a router, near a microwave, nobody should have a microwave anyway. But so keep it away from things like that. That would just devalue it. It's not going to hurt you to take it, but it won't be the live active food that it should be. So that's really cool about bee pollen. We use it. I take it every single day.
So
One
do we.
teaspoon, two
We take it from
teaspoons.
you, Dr. Jana.
Yeah, thank you. Yeah, I love it. And if just a note for everybody, if you're going to have bee pollen, if number one, the best way is to have your own bees and know where they're pollinating, what they're on, and what water they're getting. You don't want them drinking tap water. You don't want them just drinking, honestly, rainwater, because stuff's in the air and being sprayed. You don't want them drinking pool water. So they get the water we get. We purify it, make it nice and clean, and that's the water we provide for our bees.
And
So
what
if
do
you're
you
not,
put it in?
what do I put the water in?
Yeah, where do you put it so the bees come find it?
Right on their hive. We have a big giant glass jar, and we fill those jars up and then just put it on a little ledge, and it just drips down. They come and they drink it. But then we also have little um, deep bowls with rocks on it, and we fill those up too, just so they can have something feel a little more natural.
I love that. That's awesome. This is the queen
Love
bee.
them.
I introduced you as the queen bee here. There's a reason. She takes
I
care and
love
loves
them.
her hives.
I do love them. And they follow me around. They seem to like me too. They kind of know I'm their friend. So I used to say, oh, I still do. They keep me, I don't keep them. So I'm not a beekeeper. They keep me. Right. So nice. I'm
That's
honored.
awesome.
Um, so if you're not getting bee pollen that from your own hives, it's just not everybody can do that, or want to do that, but know where it's coming from. Ask the really good questions like, what's the water source? What's the flower source? It's important to know, are they exposed to anything that's been sprayed? So bees will travel 3 to 5 miles looking for food and water. But if it's right there, they're really resourceful and they work smarter, not harder. So they won't go 3 to 5 miles if it's right there. So ask where it's coming from if you have someone you're getting bee pollen from. But that's why my hives have grown, because I really couldn't find anybody else that was doing it with the care that I'm doing it. There probably are some people out there, but I haven't come across them. So it's really important to get it clean, because you spray a plant with Roundup and the bees pollinate it, comes back to the hive, and now this has Roundup in it, glyphosate. This is just going to be right. Glyphosate. It's going to be harmful to you. So you're just doing your body a disservice. So that's why we say our bees are clean. And a lot of people have said, well, doesn't it have to be local? Well, no, it doesn't have to be local. We're in Florida, and if you live in Nevada, you can still take our bee pollen, and it has all these amazing qualities that you will benefit from. If you have allergies to what's blooming, then local honey, local pollen, that might help you build a resistance naturally to what's blooming. But still, even if it's from somewhere else, it does have an antihistamine effect anyway. So you're gonna get that anyway. So that's why I say, you can take it from wherever it is.
So, Dr. Jan, I have a question for you because as you're talking, I'm like, wow, you kind of sound like what I'm about to give an analogy of.
Okay.
So, as you were talking and you were saying that certain flowers or plants that are blooming in your region locally, if you have allergies to those, you should get the bee pollen from local. That'll help you with your allergy reactions, inflammatory reactions. That's been well known and documented, even if people in the audiences didn't know this. But my question for you is, Miss Bee Pollen Extraordinaire, Miss Bee Queen Keeper, I have a question for you. I'm just curious. People who are experts in, for example, the wine industry, they call those experts sommeliers. And these people can literally smell wine and tell you what flowers, what grapes, what barrels, what wood it was put in. This is
Yeah.
oaky. This is whatever,
Yes.
buttery. This is fruity. Can you do that when you taste bee pollens?
Pollen, but more specifically honey. But yes, I can tell with pollen, sometimes it's nutty, sometimes it's more woodsy, sometimes it's really
So funny.
light and more floral. So it's more for me the time of year because I don't eat a lot of other bee pollen. I have tried it and I'm usually disappointed. But I can tell the time of year or what's blooming. You can
That's
tell.
very cool.
Yeah.
I was just curious. All right. So,
Yeah.
what else do these amazing bees God put on this earth that provide us fuel and food as well as
Okay.
their own? What else do they do inside those hives or for the
What
work?
else do they do? They amazing. They're absolutely incredible engineers. And I have a story that if we have time, I'd love to tell about how smart they are. But they make propolis and as well as honey and bee pollen. But I want to just say with all of these bee products that they make, there are so many nutrient dense that we've just learned they do more than I ever imagined. So one of the things is it's high in carotenoids, and that helps us protect from blue light. We haven't had so much blue light in all of our lives, right? Now we have it everywhere. So now this helps protect your eyes. And polyphenols, we know that's good for our bodies to fight off free radicals. It's great antioxidant.
Well, I always like defining words for people because
Okay.
polyphenol sounds really like technical. I just want y'all to know poly means many, phenols means plant-based chemicals. All right. So,
Yes.
these are
Many
many
plant-based
plant-based chemicals. There you go.
Yes, yes. It even helps rid our body of graphene oxide naturally. What else? What else? There's so much. So wanna talk a little bit more about bee pollen? Just a little bit?
Yes. All right. So first, what I'm going to do though is I'm going to touch on the propolis thing because I'm going to run through a few things. I just want to hear your take, and then what I would like to do is actually introduce the audiences and make sure they see your website, your products,
Okay.
your propolis,
Oh,
and we can talk more about bee pollen, which is probably your number one thing there that you're so passionate about.
yeah.
So I'm actually going to just rattle off a few things off of my website that I have for our propolis throat spray. I want to read off a
Awesome.
few of these, and I want you to tell me and the audiences what you think about knowing this and hearing this. Okay. So
Okay.
here we go.
Great.
Did you know, Dr. Jana, that bee propolis can prevent and treat sore throats? Did you know it's already published to do that?
Yes.
Did you know it can beat strep throat? It can beat E. coli bacteria. Did you know it's already published to do that? And on our website, on the product page for our throat spray from bee propolis, you will see the published research studies and the highlights of what they do. So you already knew it could actually help with throat spray. So we found a simple thing, right? If COVID-19, for example, was a respiratory virus and they were swabbing your nose and your throat, I was like, well, how easy is this? Just put bee propolis right in your throat and just spray it in there and then
Love
swallow.
it.
All right. And then did you know bee pollen combats cancers? Did you know that?
Yes. Yes, by stimulating your natural killer T cells against tumor cells.
Exactly right. So I'm going to read a summary from a statement from a study on my website about bee propolis and cancer. A 2016 study showed anti-cancer activities and extended the survival of animal subjects who already had tumors. Quote, from these findings, it is evident that propolis extracts can be considered as a naturally obtained agent extremely useful, I quote, in cancer treatments.
So good.
That's bee propolis. All right, here's the next one. Bee propolis treats candida and candida symptoms. All right, now, Jana, you're a
Yes,
female and you have your own clinic. You've been helping people with infertility issues for years and all naturally. Have
yes.
you ever had a patient ever come to you who had vaginal candidiasis or candida vaginally, or let's say toenail fungus or ringworm? You ever had any of those?
All of those, actually. I've heard of people come to me with each of those.
Right. Did you know already? I bet you did, that bee propolis can actually treat all of those fungal infections by
Absolutely.
itself without
Topically and
diflucan or any
internally.
other drugs prescribed by MDs.
So good. Internally and externally. You can do both.
Absolutely. All right. Did you know that bee pollen stops herpes simplex virus outbreaks, which includes cold sores if you currently have one, or have them that come up occasionally or cyclically each year, and fever blisters? Did you know that bee pollen is a known or propolis, sorry, is a known cure for herpes simplex virus?
Absolutely. It's high in lysine.
All alone by itself. It's high in
All alone by
lysine. And
itself.
all of
Yeah.
you out there know, if you go buy an all natural product at Whole Foods or from Burt's Bees, you're going to see lysine as a published on the label treatment for herpes simplex, cold sores, and fever blisters, but it's in bee propolis. And then you've got bee propolis. Did you know it actually kills parasites by itself without ivermectin or hydroxychloroquine?
Brilliant. They know what they're doing. The bees just literally know what they're doing.
It's so awesome. All right. Did you know bee pollen improves fertility for females with endometriosis? And I have the published studies there that prove it.
I have so many studies that prove that. Yes, so many people come to me and I'm like, okay, we're going to get the cell phones out of your pockets. We're going to get the computers out of your laps, and you're going to take bee pollen every day. And then I say, okay, now I want you to do this. Let's make an appointment, because usually I'm backed up. So I get them like, do this right away. Stop eating crap, do whatever, bee pollen, reduce Wi-Fi radiation. Those are the two main things I tell them immediately.
Now, as
And
you've gotten to know
sometimes
people,
they don't, what's that?
no, go ahead.
Sometimes they don't even have to make the appointment, because, sometimes it's like a month out. Then they're like, oh, Dr. Jana, we're pregnant. Like, okay, great. So yeah. And then if it's not a month later, then it's within a couple months after their appointment, but they just keep up. It's the fertility for the plants. Pollen is fertility for the plants, to make new plants, to make from that seed. So it just makes sense, right? That it's fertility for us too.
Amen to that. I love it. All right. So those are some of the things I knew Dr. Jana already knew. Now, of all the people you've met in your life, some people are frustrated that they can't get pregnant. They've gotten pregnant, lost babies. You're helping people all over the world with that issue. But the number one thing, if I asked you, I'm not even going to ask you, I'm just telling you, the number one thing we hear that is probably the most damning emotionally, physically, that people can be diagnosed with, that would be a cancer diagnosis. So when you see things like bee pollen, bee propolis have the potential to help stop metastatic cancer growth, why would you ever not recommend bee pollen or bee propolis for anything that's less scary than cancer?
Right. Right.
Okay. You should all be on it. All right. So anything else that you can think of off the top of your head? Amazing stories. You said you wanted to share one. I'd love to hear it. But what are some amazing things you've seen with propolis, bee pollen that would resonate with audiences around the world? They'd be like, wait a minute, for real? I had no idea.
You and I both know that it serves as a really good prebiotic for the gut. That's really good. And it also enhances production of collagen. I don't know if you knew that.
Oh, wait, hold on one thing. That is great. Very true. I have to say this because you touched on the gut for a second.
Okay.
It is published and it's on my website. Propolis is a cure, published cure for leaky gut syndrome.
Oh, so good.
Okay, how many people out there are worried about Crohn's disease, celiac disease, all these autoimmune diseases, and have thought or been told you have a leaky gut, meaning stuff's going from your gut into your bloodstream? Propolis seals and heals the holes, people. All right, there you go. Thank you. Very, very good. Oh, propolis, by the way, while I'm talking about this, if it plugs the holes in your gut, can you please talk about how bees use propolis in their hive? Like, what do they use it for? Can you please explain that? Because I think it's miraculous.
Really
it also works in your body the same way. Okay, go ahead.
Exactly. Why do bees make propolis? This is propolis. You can't say it wrong. It's all right.
I'll say it wrong all day. It doesn't matter.
So
Propolis, propolis,
either way.
propolis. Yeah.
Yeah. Now I have dogs barking, so they're involved in the hurricane prep.
Still don't hear them. It's amazing. Great mic.
Perfect. Great. I'll just talk.
Oh, now I heard it. I heard one. Hello, puppies. Very faint. Go ahead.
Propolis is made by the bees. They use the beeswax that they've made, and they take extra sap, and they make this dark, sticky. I mean, it cements things together. It's really sticky, and they put it in the cracks of wherever their hive needs to be sealed, so they're protected from the outside. Sometimes they'll do this on the inside too, to seal the frames together where they're really working on honey. They string it together. So, and then they use it as storehouse as well, and they can dilute it and make other things from it. So it's
Okay.
it's
Okay,
dark.
hold on. I got to do something. All right, all you men that are watching this, all you dense, common sense, very simple men, women, you already got what she just said. Men, I'm talking to you. In case you don't understand what she's saying about propolis when they create this very dark, very dense substance. Okay, what do you use when you want to seal up your own home? When you put in a new window, a new door, what is it you put around the edges of the window to seal out air and moisture? You put in silicone or caulking. This is what propolis is for the beehives, but they don't go to Home Depot or Lowe's and buy some man-made stuff. They make it all by themselves, and it is just as powerful a sealer as any caulk or silicone you can buy at Lowe's or Home Depot that man's made. Pretty incredible. Okay, go ahead.
Incredible for sure. Did you know it also helps prevent plaque plaque building up on your teeth and cavities, the bacteria that makes cavities? Honey, propolis, it all.
I have read that about bee pollen. Propolis, I'm sure, has the same constituents, or some of them overlapping probably, but yes, that's amazing.
So one of the stories I thought was
Hold up, that's better than fluoride, right?
Oh, yeah, considering fluoride's horrible for you, yes.
Hold up. Well, we're going to stay on this point, but hold on.
Okay.
Fluoride, the judge in California just said we want the EPA to look at their regulations on fluoride in water systems because the IQ of children, research studies confirm it keeps going down the more we fluoridate people. All right, I want y'all to know something. CNN published last night an article about fluoride in water. And you know what they said? In the article, it reads, having fluoride in the water helps to maintain bone density of your teeth and keeping the minerals in your teeth. Hold on. In the same article, it writes that if we get too much fluoride buildup in our bodies, it leads to dental fluorosis and skeletal fluorosis. Do y'all know what that is? Have you ever seen a meth head's teeth? That's what happens with fluoride. All your teeth fall out and start turning brown or black, and they start falling out and they start getting weaker. Skeletal fluorosis means all your bones will start to bend and warp because they're getting too soft. And then it damages also, they say, skeletal fluorosis means you will develop arthritis, weaken ligaments and tendons, and they will rupture easier. All right. So how can they tell you that this creates more density in your bone of your teeth in the same article, but then tell you over time that same fluoride weakens your dental teeth structures and bone health? Okay, keep going. Propolis and bee pollen is a great substitute for fluoride in your water. Just do that. Don't put fluoride and drink that water. No tap water for you.
I've never used fluoride for my teeth, and I'm not about to. So fortunately, my hippie parents knew, my hippie mom knew not to do that. So, so there's a couple of really cool stories when I came across, like I'm always getting and reading and people sending me like, oh, this cool bee story. So the British Sports Council recorded increases, like they were recording on their athletes. And this is athletic performance and all their athletes and height, weight, and all this. And so they noticed, like, when after 2 months of taking bee pollen every day, they reported 40 to 50% increase in their strength.
Wow.
Which is pretty amazing. That's a huge amount. And then they also noted that some of them grew taller. Some adults,
from bee
and these are adults, and just taking bee pollen, and some of them actually grew taller as well. Wow. So, and these are people who are over 18. So I thought that was pretty cool. And then there's been some really
you have that research study. Can you send it to me, Dr. J?
Yes, I can.
It's not right now.
British Sports Council. I will send it to you. It's really great. And I've got several others from France that talks about cellular regeneration in the skin. So I love it. Sometimes I'll put it on my face, you know, with some honey, and it's great cleanser. And then of course I take it too. So when someone says, oh, what do you do for your hair and skin? I'm like, well, you can take bee pollen and honey and propolis, and it's going to give you everything you need. And my hair grows like crazy. Most women my age, they can't grow their hair, and I can't cut it fast enough. It's just like crazy. And I'm also not gray yet, and I really should be by this point, right? Like, okay. So when I was younger, and we were doing bees and things, I was told that Ronald Reagan took bee pollen every morning on his toast with honey, and that's why he says his hair never turned gray.
That is
Isn't that
incredible.
funny? So I'm like, oh, Ronald Reagan does it too. So
Do
I
you
thought
know what
that
else is in bee pollen that would preserve hair color?
copper,
Copper.
copper.
Exactly right. Anyway, I
Yep.
love that.
Dr. Judy and I worked on, Dr. Judy Mikovits and I worked on some things with propolis bee pollen in the brain. It actually enhances the neurotransmitters. But one of the really, I mean, that didn't surprise me at all. But one of the really cool things is it reduces the toxic effect of mercury in the
That's
brain, and
awesome.
then also helps the body get rid of any aluminum. And this is just all these bee products can help the brain really, function. So it's pretty
I
awesome.
love that. That is incredible. All right. So, what other stories did you have besides the sports one? Did you have another story you thought of earlier you'd like to tell? Or was that
Oh,
the story?
yeah, well, there's so many, but there's like, gosh, just numerous numbers of stories. But one of the ones about how smart bees are, Stanford University did a study with bees, and they were going to see how long it took them to find their food source after they had an established food source. And they did every Wednesday, they moved this giant platform that had water and flowers. It started out right in front of the hive, and they left it there for a month. So then every Wednesday they came and they moved it exactly a certain number of feet, 15 feet away, in the same direction every Wednesday. And then they calculate how long does it take the bees to find it. By the fourth time, and they're doing this early in the morning before the bees are like normally up. By the fourth time, the bees were waiting exactly 15 feet from in the same trajectory, the same angle. Before they were even normally awake, they were already there waiting for them. So they realized it took them 3 times, like, oh, it's moving, and they were ready for them. So they were smart. They outsmarted the scientists.
That's incredible. All right. So, I have a question. When you move the beehives, are they not already sleeping in the beehive when you move them? Where are they sleeping at?
Well, in this story, they didn't move the hive, they moved the food source.
Oh, gotcha. Okay.
So they were moving the food source further and further away from them. They stayed.
Oh, so they're moving what? Flowers or what are they moving?
Yes, a whole rolling thing of flowers and water.
That is incredible. I
They're
love
trying,
it. All right.
oh, let's see how smart they are. They
Oh my
outsmarted
God,
them.
it's amazing. All right, so Jan, I want you to do something for me. I'm going to give you screen sharing ability. Are you on a computer? Good. I want you to bring up your website so you can show my audiences what you offer at janasallnatural.com. This is actually a show all about propolis and the products we have on our website. I want you to educate you on the amazingness of propolis so you can know why it is, what the benefits are of having this thing in your home and in your purse. And it's mint flavored, all natural. It's amazing. All right. So, Dr. Jan, I want you to pull up your website and I want you to take the audiences through how to navigate that site and what incredible sources of bee pollen, bee products, and other great things or exciting things you want to show the audiences there. Why? Because I love you. Our audiences love you. Healing for the Ages audiences love you. My wife loves you. We all love you. So, we want to support you and the Schmidt crew every single day of our lives.
This is Janice All Natural, and it's updated page. Oh, interesting. They just put shipping may be delayed due to Hurricane Milton. My people are so good. They're always on it.
Very good.
So this talks about our services, our products, and our blog. So under services, we have a variety of people that I love, that I work with: a holistic nurse navigator, a doula.
Go ahead and show us. Feel free to show us the website.
Right.
Click those buttons and let's
All
take
right,
you through it.
let's do it. So let's see who we've got here. Here's our team. So there's me. And here's my holistic nurse navigator, who is absolutely incredible. She's had years of experience as a nurse and holistically as well.
For those that aren't watching, but just listening, what's their names?
Oh, her name is Susie Eichinger.
There you go.
An RN, holistic nurse navigator. And she does, her prices are amazing. Her advice is literally priceless.
Awesome.
Mariah Thomas, she's a birth doula. She can help mamas pre and during and postpartum.
Awesome.
And then we have Nina Prey. Her last name is actually Prey, and she's helps people with trauma and people who've gone through specific traumas. So that's my core team right now. They are incredible people. And back to the home, you can also see classes, any classes we have coming up. We just happen to have the fundamentals of herbology course coming, starts February 26th. 6 courses. You dig in, you learn about flowers, what grows in your area, and herbs, and how to make tinctures. And it's just, we dig in, it's so deep on herbs. It says foundations, but we really, and fundamentals, but we really do get pretty deep, and there's helpful charts and recipes and videos, and you have
Awesome.
all the slides that I provide each time as well. So,
That's awesome.
okay, go back to products. Okay, chakra products. I love making products. I have more in my head and more in my life than I could possibly get on here,
I'm
but
sure.
you're helping me with that, so that's good. So bee pollen, of course, is the crowning jewel. We love the bee. Look how yellow and bright. So if you're seeing this, like it's bright and yellow. Pollen needs to be bright. It doesn't need to be brown or dull or like a dull yellow. It needs to be bright. And things like with colloidal silver. I have a new product, organic sweet wormwood. It has
Awesome.
taken me so long to source an organic wormwood. And y'all, if you don't know what sweet wormwood does, it's also known as sweet Annie. It is the plant version. Instead of ivermectin, we go to sweet wormwood. We've done it for years, missionaries on the field, keeping them healthy, keeping them free of all kinds of weird stuff in the water. And there's a variety of things. You can just scroll through books and teas and more teas.
Hold up,
And,
stop at the books. Tell me about a favorite book that you have that you think people should read.
Dr. Philip Fritchie was my herbal mentor. It's where I got my master herbalist.
And which book is his?
Practical Herbalism by Dr. Philip Fritchie, Ordinary Plants with Extraordinary Powers. This is one that I just carried around with me for years, and it's no longer in print. And I bought as many as I could possibly have. So when these are gone, I mean, unless someone's willing to print them again, I don't know where we can get them. But I think everybody should have this on their shelf if they love herbs whatsoever. And then Rosemary Gladstar is an herbalist. Any of her books are fabulous. What a name, right? Rosemary
Incredible
Gladstar. Like,
name.
wow, she must have been raised by hippies too.
I wonder if
And
she tasted like rosemary when her husband kissed her or anything. I'm like, oh, you even
maybe
taste like it.
rosemary. Shungite's a good one. This is protection, healing, and detoxification. There's a lot of question marks around shungite and how does it work to protect you from EMFs? How does it absorb this carbon fullerene? Like, what is it? This really breaks it down. It's very, very concise, and it goes way back in history in Russia, where czars were building these healing centers over these rocks that were bubbling with water, and they didn't know why they worked and why they were healthy and healing. And this goes into the science behind that and the history. And I love history. So it's like history and science together, some of my kind of book. So I really love this one. It shows how it works. And it also shows how to identify different kinds of shungite. They're not all created equal. Some are more powerful than others. And we do have shungite on our website here. It's the top of the line shungite. I don't mess around with anything less. We have organic moringa on our farm, and we have the pods, so you can grow your own. These are all organic. They grow beautifully. If they don't grow, then you let me know something happened to those seeds or they got shipped around to so many weird places. We'll give you some more because they sprout beautifully. Moringa powder. And if you click on any of these topics, any of the products, you can see all the different things. We tell you what's in them. They're raw, organic, non-GMO, kosher. 7 times more the iron than spinach, 2 times more protein than yogurt, 3 times more potassium than bananas, 4 times more calcium than milk, 4 times the vitamin A in carrots, 7 times more C than oranges. That's just in this little tiny powder, and it just takes a tiny bit. There's just pounds of this goes in to make this one tiny little powder. So you just need a little tiny bit. It's pretty awesome.
That's awesome. I love it.
Divox is chlorophyll and copper together. It's great, helps oxygenate your body. There, you just go on and on. I have some Dr. Group's products because I love Dr. Group's products. I have a salve that is, it says sold out. I'm going to have to get on that one. But this salve is really wonderful, remediating these skin issues. And then I have some skincare things, which I love.
What is that little thing? It looks like a little plastic plant. What is that thing?
It's a roller ball that you would work with with your face.
Got it. Very cool.
Yeah.
With essential oils and stuff. Very good.
Yes. And then we have bundles, which are super fun. So you can buy bundles and save.
Now you don't have a beard, but you have beard oil. I see there.
Yeah, beard oil. Yes. So our, I think I put oh no, it's not on here. I was going to say I had a picture of my youngest son because he's got a great beard. He had splotchy places that weren't growing in very well. So I designed this for him. And he has like the greatest, fullest beard when he grows it. And people are like, what in the world? How do you get such a nice beard? He's like, this is the stuff. He said, I used it for 4 weeks. And ever since then, it's been amazing. So
that's awesome.
We do we do take beeswax and we do beeswax melts. These are all 100% beeswax with added pure essential oils. Some of them are just plain. but when you melt beeswax or burn beeswax in an environment, it helps purify the environment, helps improve the quality of the air. So yeah, these are just a few little things, and then all kinds of beautiful shungite. We have grounding mats. I sent a bunch to Dr. Ely. He tested them all. He said, even when they're unplugged, sometimes they're still grounding. You're like,
awesome.
what? I was totally surprised by that. Grounding pillowcases. Oh, sold out of there too. I'm going to have to replenish those. And then some fun things for gifts. Everybody loves gifts. And one of my sons is a board game designer, so I always pop his board game on there. It's like pretty awesome. So yeah, that's our products page. There's always something fun, something for everybody. I also love the blog page. So occasionally write an article, like to put it on here. People keep asking me questions about it, like, okay, the power of grounding. Let's go and like, why is grounding so powerful? And then I always refer some articles you can read further. Some people like to dig in, like me. Near infrared sauna benefits, and also where you can get these things from trusted sources that we've vetted, meaning you and me and Dr. Ely and Dr. Drew. Unlocking the secrets of sweet wormwood. We were just talking about sweet wormwood. You can go in and find out, and you can read the Epoch Times article where they interviewed me about sweet wormwood. So just a variety of topics, and we're always changing them, constantly giving new updates. We'd like to stay current. I think that's it. Anything that's going on in the media, you can find here too. Our partnerships, testimonials. There's so many testimonials of like people that wanted to have a baby, and look at this beautiful couple with these 2 babies, and over and over, have a young athlete, bodybuilder athlete, one of the survivors one of the last final survivors, and he uses my plant-based, super shake, and so just a lot of different people, mostly people that wanted to have babies. They're very happy to give their testimonial. So that's our website, and sometimes we do little videos, but you can navigate it pretty easily. And yeah, and this
all right, so say it out loud and spell the website for everybody.
Okay, Jana's All Natural, JANASALL, natural, NATURAL. And we also, I want to encourage you, if you want to call, I know a lot of people are hesitant to use things online, you can call. Now, we're not there every hour of every day and night, but generally normal work hours, there's someone there to answer your questions. And that number is 321-600-4007. And they're absolutely lovely young ladies, and they will help answer any questions you have, help you place an order, take requests, whatever. They're very accommodating. So, or if you have any specific questions about the products, they can help answer those too.
That's awesome. Can you repeat the phone number?
Yes, 321-600-4007.
That's awesome. All right. Now you can stop screen sharing to show us. There you go. All right. Dr. Jana, your house is still standing. Doesn't look like the wind picked up too much since we started, but thank you very much for being here. Would you like to, is there anything else you want to share with the audiences right now?
This is a process. We're all learning, we're growing together. And just so people know that my heart is dedicated to helping people live as healthy and as natural as they possibly can. So I love partnering with other people that are doing this. And every time I learn something new, I want to provide it to others as well. So just so people know where my heart is, if you don't already know me, right, and know that this is where how I operate, then that's now you know. So thank you.
Well, all of you that are watching this interview, if you don't know me and you don't trust me yet, how can you not trust this lady after listening to her for the last several minutes? Now go buy all the replays from healingfortheages.com. Go there so you can watch all of Jana's presentations over the last 2 years. And I want to remind the audiences, just getting to know you and listen to you for the last 45 minutes or an hour, how shocked were you to see that the country of Australia, while you were up on stage, made sure that everybody in Australia trying to watch your presentation at healingfortheages.com live were all told this website is blocked. We consider this a danger to the public, and it has been banned in the country of Australia. How do you feel about that?
So obvious we're over the target. It didn't surprise me from Australia, because just 6 months ago, they started burning all the beehives. So I already have this like seething loathing for them right now and their government for blocking and banning and stopping things that are good for us. So when I saw that pop up during our presentations, it didn't surprise me, but it just added flame, right? Added flame, like, oh, we're gonna do it even more. We're gonna talk even more. We're gonna make it more accessible for people that they're trying to keep us from, reaching. Yeah.
Yeah. So just to help you understand Dr. Jana's heart, I'm going to say something here and ask her a question, and then we'll wrap up this interview. Thank you for spending the time with us today in the middle of a approaching hurricane that you need to protect you and your family and your bees from and your dogs from. But as I and you heard over the last 4 years, the threat to the lives of human beings in hospitals and with vaccines, I have to ask you, does your heart break for the billions of bees that have been murdered all over the planet using insecticides, using whatever devices, EMFs, 5G radiation towers, whatever? We know these have a huge impact on there. We do not do census reporting for bee populations, but Jana, you of all people, I bet, can speak to what has been the impact over your lifetime of the global population of bees.
It has diminished greatly, and there's some areas that have overused pesticides to the point where they have to hand pollinate to get any of their plants to grow. It's scary, and it's I think on purpose. We know that these chemicals harm and the EMFs harm bees, but it's also harming us, right? So I watch the bees when they start to act funny. I'm like, no, something's going on for us as well. So yes, it's heartbreaking. It's heartbreaking because I watch the way of the bees, and I think there we go, right? That's what's happening to us as well internally. We just may not be as aware of it. So yes, it is terribly heartbreaking. There's a documentary called Queen of the Sun. It was made several years ago, like maybe 7 years ago. It's beautiful. Stick with it, get past the first 5 minutes, because the first 5 minutes looks really hippy dippy. It's like, oh, what am I watching? But I promise you, it gets beautiful, and it starts to talk about beekeepers all over the world. And just like you said, the diminishing population and the control. When you register your hives with a state or with a county, most will make you medicate them and start giving them antibiotics and all kinds of permethrin and insecticides, right, to kill other things getting in the hive. But it just desecrates the hives. And so be aware that natural is better. They don't need our help. They know what they're doing. You just let them do their thing. So yes, it is heartbreaking, and I'm working hard to help protect them. So because they protect us.
I love it. Dr. Jana Schmidt, we love you. Thank you for spending time with us today. Go take care of your family. We love you. Our prayers are with your son, Ellis, too, now that I know he's home. God bless all of you. Send your prayers to the way of the Schmidt family in Florida, because they, as many other people around the world, we need faith, prayer, hope being projected from all of our hearts and minds your way. God bless you. Thank you for your time here with the Dr. Ardis Show and hanging out with me one more time. Till we see you next time, which will probably be tomorrow when we're texting each other or hanging out. God bless you. Tell Mike hi, your hubby. Tell all the kids hi. Well. Give Ellis a huge hug for me. And we love you guys.
Right. Yeah, thank you.
I'm Dr. Ardis. This is Dr. Ardis Show. Go to janasallnatural.com. Hang out at the Dr. Ardis Show. You can trust those products because I trust Jana. All right. We'll see you next week. God bless.